Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
And we're top of the league as well.
Yeah.
Week one. Obviously still a game to play, and the league title winners in waiting will feature in that game
Mhm.
at some point. Colin, what are you drinking?
It's actually an empty cup.
Oh,
I just remembered. I said, "Oh, we'll go a cup out in the
we're
go."
gonna do
Aye,
some.
aye.
I product placed my Long Bangers
Keep pen.
t-shirt.
I actually keep pens in it. I had to take the pens out just to spoil the magic there.
Do you
There you
know,
go.
upstairs, I've got the same mug upstairs. Not the exact same mug, obviously, but I use it for the same purpose.
See, this is a bit
Yep,
of a unique one, I think.
This was
two
Johnny
of a
from off the
kind.
Hibs that produced them for us and just gave us a couple as a wee gift. A couple of mouse mats for it as well, which we since gave out. Um, me joined the YouTube, said happy Sunday guys, forgot Shankland and Wilson Bowie is a real baller. Yes, we'll come on to that. Kieran says drinking Pressley tears. Chris said evening boys, a very easy afternoon. And Callum said evening gents. Yes, good evening everybody who's joining us on YouTube and to those who are listening on podcast after the event. It's good to have you with us as always. So it was a comfortable afternoon up in Dundee today, although the score suggests it was pretty close. Not many changes to the team, John. We had Hoylett coming in for McGrath, and that was it. Was that a bit of a surprise for you, or were you expecting Gray to stick with what he knew?
Good question. When I saw the lineup and I had to go looking for it, thank you to the people who don't screenshot and share this week. That was poor form for each of us. So no, when I went and had a look at it, I kind of scanned through and I saw that Hoylett was in there. I had to kind of rack my brains to find out, or sorry, to try and remember who it was that had dropped out. I think I might have expected potentially one or two
Uh-huh.
changes, given that the game went to almost penalties on Thursday. So only one change. I'm not going to say that it was either good or bad. There's obviously a reason for it, whether it was tactical, whether it was physical, but trust what David Gray does. And like it worked out today.
hmm Colin, what were you? What did you think when you saw it?
I wasn't massively surprised. Like, I mean, the reason I was, if you want to say I was surprised, is because everybody was saying that there got to be mass changes, and I was seeing teams coming out with boys that you go, is he really going to play them? So, like, it was like, I don't know if it was a football manager thing or the English Premier League where they chop and change their team for Europe the league. I don't think, I think we've probably got to have like 17, 18 players that we're going to try and just play this season, and he's picked his team. McGrath done the whole 120 the other night,
Yeah.
but in centre midfield, right, which is the hardest, you cover the most miles. Whereas Mulligan done 120, but he done a good 30 minutes of that or longer at wing back. So
You said he got an easy shifter.
it's easier. Aye. Although wing back you're still up and doing, I suppose. But it's, I
Does anybody
mean,
take his feet off the gas? Just that's me.
no.
Moved.
Oh, it's. I think centre mid's the ones like that do the mileage. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
that's they're the ones that cover the most ground. I think. They're the ones that are always at the top of the fitness charts, and that I've seen the fitness charts at HTC. It's the centre mid. Although wing back is up there, I suppose, because you've got to get up and down the park. But so he took Milligan off the day. He never took, you know what I mean? It was like he gave him his rest,
Uh-huh.
and so I wasn't massively surprised. I'd rather we played our best team. It's the second game of the season, third game of the season,
Uh,
third competitive game. Like they
aye.
shouldn't be tired. I said that to you guys the other night in a chat we're in. Like folks saying, "Oh, we'll be knackered," and that. It's like we knew these games were coming. Like they've got fucking guys there with ice baths and massages and days off, and like
Mhm.
Taylor, they knew this game was there. You heard the Rangers manager yesterday. They got pumped, obviously. Well, they drew 1-1,
A
and
pumped one each. Yep.
they drew 1-1, and he said he was moaning about the players, and the I think Luke Chanley tried to give them the excuse
hmm
off that, and he blew it away. He says, "No, we knew the games were there. It's player
Aye.
mentality and attitude that." They think they're tired, or they know what to run is hard, or oh, fuck, it's just Motherwell. It's no fucking fancy game against Panathinaikos or whoever it was. They
Mhm.
played the Greek team, didn't they? So, and that's what we got today. We got guys that were still, to be honest, they got an easy game today. Like
They did.
so,
But I thought. I thought the same. So I expected there to be changes, but then when they didn't change it, I thought it was actually a really clever bit of management for Gray for that reason. For it to say like, well, you should be able to deal with this, and I'm not going to give you the excuse for being tired, and I'm not going to, because it would be easy for him to go and change half the team, and then, if we didn't win, he points to the tiredness, but he's like, "Nah, I trust you to go and do it. You need to perform." And I heard him in his post-match interview where he said folk were, looking at Hibs waiting to see us slip up, pretty much. And I like it. We talked about storytelling with the games, like how he uses a narrative to sort of drive the players on, and clearly he sort of used that this time. And the players, I didn't think they looked tired. I don't think they played like they were tired. I think it was the right thing to do. Johnny, I mean, there's Kieran mentioned it on the Twitter chat about no seeing Cleege coming in. So maybe this would have been an opportunity to bring Cleege. Manny was the other player that we thought might come in for this one. Notwithstanding what we just said about Gray and taking that approach, was there an opportunity maybe to start these two boys and give them a run in the team?
Aye, there was. But they have, so Cliché's coming late, Manny's been around the squad, and there was a wee suggestion that, I don't know if it was paper talk, if there was more to it about him potentially being on the way out, with one of the reasons being lack of game time. However, I think it would have been a mistake if Gray had started with those two, because it just completely disrupts, whether you want to call it momentum or continuity from not just Thursday night, but throughout pre-season. Like, I think that's like there's been obviously a few changes throughout some of the games. Like, I think in the earliest games you had like kind of like wholesale changes, so it was like two different teams, for example. But I think what we were talking about recently was, rather than playing League Cup games that would have been a wee bit easier, we've been playing kind of like progressively difficult games, or games where the competition was going to be of a similar standard to what we would face in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you go from Thursday night to today, and I've seen it, like I've seen Hibs teams do it in the past, where like the one that I remember in particular was when I went through to, I think it was Broadwood, Hibs were in the League Cup, and we rested a whole bunch of players, but then we brought them on like in extra time, and it was 0-0 because you wanted them to win the game. We didn't really have that opportunity in the game that we had today, and I think it sends a message not just to the players but also to the supporters, like they're good. So we're bringing in some other guys, and I don't think I've ever seen it work. I don't know if Gray's done his homework with that regard. So I'm sorry, I realise I'm blathering on here, but
No, you're right.
yes, there was an opportunity for them to play. However, I think it would have sent the wrong message to the team and the supporters that travelled in numbers in terms of what we were trying to achieve in the park today.
And who's your two best players today?
Well, Bowie and McGrath, I would have said.
Well, or Levitt, right?
Yeah,
Levitt
Levitt was
McGrath
tremendous
had
as
the
well.
last
Aye,
half hour, right?
yeah.
So, and who are they coming in for? Be them, eh? So
Aye, that's a good point. Colin, what were your thoughts on the game?
really easy. Like 2-1 doesn't really reflect it. The dominance. I mean, I say dominance. Like we had loads of the ball. We were trying to create chances, but Dundee just sat in. They even sat in at 2-0. Us. It was fucking weird.
Wild, eh?
It was like, what are they doing?
Colin, there was a point when it was 2-1. You'll maybe remember it, but it was, I want to say it was about 75th minute-ish, and Rocky had the ball at the back, and their two strikers weren't pressing them,
Aye,
weren't
that's
putting them
right.
under
I
any
was saying
pressure
that.
whatsoever.
I was saying that to my daughter. So they're not even doing anything. The three of them were just knocking the ball. They could have stood and just passed it between the three of them for the last 15 minutes.
Which was great for us. Like, we were quite happy
Absolutely.
to get the ball.
Especially with having heavy legs. Like we weren't
Aye.
having to do any work. It was like if we could have picked an opponent after having the 120 minutes that we were a bit concerned about, big European game, better come down on the Sunday, all the things that, not just because it's Dundee, just because of the style of when you're playing the Thursday Sunday thing, it was difficult. It was like I couldn't believe how we set them up. They just matched them. I was listening to Joe Newell in the commentary. He was talking about matching the formation. So that's the formation. We'll match it, and we'll make them be like the home team having to do the pressing. But we got the goals, so it was fucked. The game plan was fucked, and he didn't change it.
I'd overheard Pressley was chatting with Gray just as we were going in, and he said to him, if you're looking for a manager that's going to make your Sunday afternoon difficult, I'm not your man.
No, your man.
That's what he said.
It looked like that. He did also look like I don't know, a geography teacher or something with the Keiron. Do you know what I thought the funniest thing was? He walked about with that notebook, right? He never opened it, and he never had a fucking pen.
Can I just stop you there? It's no notebook. It's a scrapbook. Craig Levine studies.
He got an absolutely tremendous rendition of "You Heart's Bastard" as he came out at the start as well. It was like fucking loving that. I always think it's good to.
Sorry, Matt. Has he got leather patches on his elbows? That would complete the academic look.
Absolutely.
You'll have them on the inside.
And apologies to any geography teachers out there, right? But like, I just picked that one because I was thinking of your geography teacher for 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was. What a state the boy's in. And as I say, that notebook that I never saw open, I was thinking he's got that right because he's seen there's like the successful coach in England at rugby, the Bath coach, is South African guy. He walks about with a notebook and he writes shit in it, like God would want this and all that, as well as like tactics and that to-do list. Red milk.
Presley just writes love letters to Craig Levine in it.
He's not got a pen. I think he's just got the book because he thinks, well, good coaches have notebooks now.
I bet he tries to beam his thoughts onto the page, just fucking staring at it like.
It's a pity because he's not going to be there long, right?
No,
and like we're not going to get much more laughs on this season because he'll be away before we play them the next time, I reckon.
You say that, but they did appoint him, so like they have a vision for him. I don't know what it is, but
well, it was either him or Charlie Adam. I mean, I imagine Presley's probably coming better in the interview.
Aye, well, it's like two bald men arguing over a comb, that innit? Like, John, what was your take on the game overall?
2 words, never in doubt. Do you know? I'm going to Colin will rein me in, but hopefully, if I adopt a Stephen Pressley tone of voice, you'll realise that I'm being serious and not exaggerating. When we played the game today, I was quite comfortable watching it. I had parental duty, so I was watching it from home, or mainland Europe.
They'll have to sell the VPNs now, mate. Like it's allowed.
They facilitated it effectively.
Oh fuck! I can get my own scuddies now on the internet now that I'm not have to verify my age. I thought that we looked very much like the dominant team, and one of the thoughts that went through my mind was this makes me think of a Celtic or Rangers going to like Celtic or Rangers playing against Dundee. Like we had, I think the bulk of the possession. We were quite happy, comfortable on the ball, looking for the opening. We got the opening, and like the game felt like it was wrapped up. The only blip, obviously, was Jack Iredale's mistake. I'm not too concerned about the mistake because I think he was trying to play football like he was trying to play it out. I don't think he was doing anything ridiculous. He wasn't taking any unnecessary risks. He's just made a cunt of it, and it's Dundee have gone off and scored. As I said, like later in the game, we were quite happy. Like actually, like even at 2-1. Like I think the way that Dundee played, like they never came at us, they never put us under any real pressure. We were quite happy to knock it about, and it was just kind of like routine towards the end. Like we got the 3 points. Like Colin, you mentioned before, like we couldn't have asked for a better opponent than sorry, whether it was Dundee or anyone else. Like a team playing that style today
against
us after Thursday was ideal for us.
Like a training game, like we've said, can you set up like that? Because we'll try and break you down.
Aye,
that was pretty much, like we did what had 2 tacks in, but we'd like to try a few things out, like a few balls over the top and that.
I actually like saying tacks in there. Like that's a really good description as well, because I don't think that we had to work particularly hard for the victory, and that's not to say that Hibs never put in the effort, because there was loads of stuff that was going on throughout today's game that I thought was similar to the effort that we put on Thursday.
Yeah, I might listen to a Dundee podcast. I know you're in a group with loads of guys. I wonder if I listen to their one, because like they must be going fucking nuts. Like I know they'll probably think we're a decent side, right? Because we finished third. We've done all right in Europe against a good side, but so we are a decent side. We never got stretched and tested there. The possession stats, John, was 67-33.
Yeah, I think
in our away game. You know what I mean?
Aye,
would
what you said
expect.
there, Colin, there was something you said there about like the game. They played, sorry, the way that Dundee set up against us today, I think they were giving us, like, despite us finishing third last season and, you know, our European trip and where we are and how we're perceived or whatever, I think they treated us with way too much fear. Whether you call it fear or respect or however you want to describe it, but they never really tested us, and they could have.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like they could have and they could have, you know, gone on and won or whatever, but like that's what feeds into that what I was saying before about, you know, like an old firm team playing Dundee today. They
Yeah.
sat back and just let us play.
So there wasn't. So I totally agree with that. Like normally you would get like even it's only 2-1. Like normally you'd get that 10-minute aerial bombardment at the end, chucking the centre halves up and all that. We got none of that. But to get your point about the respect thing or whatever, when we are sitting here doing a preview of Celtic or Rangers at Easter Road, right, and they've been in Europe on the Wednesday, we're always talking about firing out the traps at them, early
Good
doors,
time to
getting
get
in
them.
about them, good time to get them. And they just went, no, we'll just fucking sit in our own half and let you play the ball around us. It was fucking mental. It was like, we're talking about Dundee more than we are us here, but it was that's what dictated the game yet. Like
Aye.
it wasn't. We never dictated that. They came out and sat like that, and we just went, all right. And then Joe Neal's in the commentary going, we just need to pick some diags and knock it over the top and that, and that's what we done. It was like, and it was easy. Like it's fucking metal.
The bit of Presley's post match stuff that I stayed awake for, when they cut it just short enough to no send you properly to sleep, which is good because it was in the car. Coming back for the game, I always think they should give you a warning before the day. They sort of teed up and said that both managers spoke, but they never told you who you were going to get first. I think if you're listening to BBC and you're putting Presley on and folk are driving back for the game, you need to be given a warning to say, listen, he's going to be speaking for more than 30 seconds. So
if you're looking for a manager that's got to engage you and keep you awake, he's not your man.
He's not your man. But he says, you know, that there's a big gap between us and Hibs. And we know that, like, we accept that my job is to close it. So that bit about the respect and the fear, I think, you know, maybe that's coming from the top as well. But they definitely stood off us and they made the afternoon really comfortable. But I think for Hibs' part, we took advantage. Colin, the game was, I mean, it played pretty much in Dundee's half. But Hibs set the tempo really well. But it wasn't really until Bowie got the first goal that we really threatened, did they think? What did you think of the sort of amount of, for want of a better word, penetration that we had?
Can you say that before 9 o'clock? I suppose you're right. Like, I'm looking at the stats and we had loads of shots, but till we got the first goal, we were just looking comfortable. We weren't doing much, and then we got them. Bowie's first goal was like, we got to talk about the goals. So it was like a lovely first touch, and then he's got a nice finish into the opposite corner. And then it was the next one was quite quick after, wasn't it? It was just it was just another ball minutes, that a beater brought down, and I think the shot got blocked by the guy, and Bowie was just in the right place to sort of knock it in the goal, like down the middle. It wasn't even like a.
I'll ask you to describe the goals, and we'll talk about them in a bit more detail than you've done just there, because I only saw them live and at the other end, and I've not seen a replay yet. So just for my own curiosity, I'd like to kind of get a good understanding of what happened with them. But yes, carry on.
Aye, so and then after that, it was just like I think we had 15 shots in the game. So, but I can't remember many of them being like. You know, I can't remember many of the other ones apart from the goal, but I just felt like we were in complete control of the game. I can't remember that the goalie made a good save for Campbell. You argue he should have maybe scored, but it was a good save as well, you know. But other than that, you know, we were obviously just hitting shots and getting them blocked or whatever. But the goalie never had loads to do. So we were getting in behind them though. You know, from a penetration point of view, if you like. They were fucking it.
We just needed a.
I just looked at John there, and John's eyes lit up. I say that.
As we took our time with the foreplay before moving to the penetration, effectively what we're saying here, we had a lot of the ball.
A good half
I thought penetration was going to be like the magic word of the week, and we're just going to try and get it in as much as possible. Get it in as much as possible. There you go.
A lot of tickling around in the dangerous areas before we finally breached. John, so go and describe the first goal for me, right? So I remember the ball falling at Bowie's feet, and I'm just sort of smashing it across the goal. But other than that, I don't remember too much about it. So talk me through it.
I'll do my best. I've just watched 25 seconds of Sky Sports Scotland to remind myself of the goals. Ball down the left-hand side. Jordan Abita plays a low cross into the box. I think one Dundee player tries to clear it. A second Dundee player tries to clear it. It falls to Bowie, who takes a neat wee touch and then slams it into the bottom right-hand corner beyond the keeper. Really good goal. It's like, I appreciate what you were saying before about like creating clear-cut chances and penetrating and pressure and what have you. But I think that I'm going to bring that back to what I was saying before about, okay, so we maybe never created like clear-cut chances, but the opportunity presented itself and we didn't miss. And that was the same with the second one as well, which, if I remember correctly, I think there was an initial shot. I don't know who it was.
Abita.
Was it Abita? And then it's cleared, or the keeper saves it, falls to Bowie again, and he just slams it home.
But it was just a wee dink over the top to Abita, and he got in behind. I think he must have been, were we coming out for a corner maybe, and he was still up quite high, so he got in and took a nice touch and got the shot away. I think the defender maybe came across, because I was kind of thinking, is that a penalty? Like, is that, like,
Oh,
was
yeah.
diving, but I don't think it hit his arm. But Bowie was there for the tap and for the rebound. But it was just easy. It was like, they want to talk us down, right? Because that's like, these are the kind of like, it's a hard place to go kind of shit.
How many
It
did
wasn't
we talk about last year?
We're changing that for 2025. There's no
Exactly.
easy games in Scottish football.
Everything got pumped 4-1 last year.
Mhm.
Like, that was just at the peak of the decline, or the bottom of the you know what I mean? It was
It was
the
the nadir of the season, wasn't it?
aye, and we went up there this season and just went, aye, we'll just cruise us through here and we'll just save the legs a bit and we'll come away with a nice comfy win. So I bet it was only 2-1, but you know what? Like, I think Celtic and Rangers they never sit and worry about going and winning 2-1 at Dundee. They would come 3 points down the road, all that chat.
Aye. And we'll not dwell too much on the goal that we conceded. It was again a situation we were totally in control of, wasn't it? And Adriel's just made a bit of messes. Clearance fell over, looked for a free kick. It was never a free kick, I didn't think.
I think like John's right. He was trying to actually knock it out into the midfield, and he mishit it, and he's tripped up, like, or thought, I'm going to fall down here, I might get a free kick. The boy wasn't even that close to him.
Nah.
It was almost a goal that we would have conceded last season.
Aye.
It started last season.
But we kept ahead. I think that's what I liked about it. The fact that we've seen Hibs teams previously kind of go 2-0, you lose a stupid goal like that, and then all of a sudden the whole momentum in the game shifts. But I thought we just kept our foot on their throat all through the game. And actually, the second half, I thought Gray's substitutes when he brought in McGrath and Campbell, that shifted the momentum further in our favour. I sort of mentioned McGrath as a contender for the man of the match, and it was mainly for his impact that he had when he came on. Josh Campbell splits opinion. John, what did you think of his performance today?
I thought it was fine. I'd heard that folk had booed him at the game, seemingly, when he was subbed on. I don't know where that came from, because there were. I say I don't know where that came from. I'm basing it on some of his really positive contributions last season. Like, I think, and I'm sure I said when we talked about it in one of our podcasts before, that every time he has these doubters, he proves them wrong, or he answers them. There was definitely like one moment today where I think he's made a wee mistake when he's been driving forward. I don't know. I can't remember exactly if he's overrun the ball or he's under a pass or whatever. But as soon as that happens, he's been sprinting back and he's recovered the ball. And if you can get every player doing that, obviously you would want them to do the right thing at the other end of the pitch. But mistakes are going to happen. It's a competitive game. As long as you're doing the mopping up, that's no bad thing. And even his header. Like, I know that there's divided opinion about whether he should have scored or whether it was a wonder save or somewhere in between. Like, he's been, I think, if I remember rightly, as the cross came in and he's been shouting for it. Like, he's been looking for that ball.
Aye, he was really deep at the back post.
His run was brilliant. You know, if you give him the credit for the bit to get in position for it,
McGrath picked him out beauty as well.
Aye. It's not like he's missed the target. He maybe could have found the corner, You could apply whatever you want to say that he could have done better, but he gets his header on target, and the keeper does pull off a good save. Like I'm not going to put a number on it, whether it's like 50-50 or 60-40 in the keeper's favour or the striker's favour, but like it was a good save. It was a good effort and it was a good save. I think both things can be
You'd
true.
expect the goalie to save it. I agree with you, but I think you would expect the goalie to save it because it was close to him.
The keeper certainly got the congratulations from his defenders. You know, when a keeper makes a save like that and they get a bit
It
of
looks
appreciation.
spectacular, doesn't it?
Aye. Obviously we thought he scored when he's headed it, and the keeper saved it. So, and McGrath, Colin, what did you make of his performance? Like he obviously, like you said, played the full 120 minutes on Thursday night and came on for the latter part today.
He got on the ball loads and he was putting plenty of crosses in. Worked hard. Quite impressed so far.
Aye, I agree with that. Right, just going to pick out a few comments for YouTube and catch up on these. So, Kieran said nothing to moan about bar Cleege. Chris said very surprised we didn't make more changes. However, one of our poorer performers was Hoylett today. John said, how do bangers? Good start to the season. I feel we should have absolutely jumped them, but I imagine there was a bit of tiredness from Thursday. Alan said, great away end today. Great start. Bowie clinical. Levitt pulled all the strings. Feel very positive about this start. Hopefully that's Iredale got his mistake out the way for the season. Callum said, a wee theory on the team only having one change. Do you think Gray will change it up for Partizan on Thursday and play the likes of Cleege? They will assess us on the last two Euro games, you'd think. Colin, what do you think of that theory?
I don't know. Gray didn't change the team much, does he? Like that's what we've seen, which we praised last year because we were sick of managers doing the Championship manager chop and change or the roulette. I think we called it when it was Lee Johnson. Trying to be more clever than they are, with the changes. We've got a good team and a decent bench there. You've got energy coming off the bench when you've got Campbell on there. Back to Campbell because that's what Campbell brings. Like I know he's kind of turning back round into that sort of the boo boy again. Taking over. Who was that last season? Who was the boo boy? Because it was obviously Hanlon until he left. But did we go a season with it one?
Nah, we'd never go a season without Kukovic had it for a while, didn't he? And well, Campbell had it for a while too. Like he's always sort of in the running for it.
It's like because I know we've not spoken about Thursday's game, and we probably will, but there was one point he came on Thursday and he got the ball and he did get away a few times, right? And he gave it away a couple of times a day as well, and that's why folk get on his case. But they all get away. It's just it seems like it's like you zero in on the ones when he does it. But there was one on Thursday where he picked the ball up and folk were screaming at him to get it out wide. I can't remember if it was Mulligan that was on at the time. I think it probably would have been at wing back. Just get out. Yeah, Mulligan. He tried to play over at Mulligan. It's like, not like that. And it was like he was shouting for him to do it, and as soon as he tried it, no. You're like, fucking hell, man! You can't change it mid, like he's kicking the ball, like when you change your mind. I do think he gets a hard time, but I like his effort. I like his work rate. Joe Newell said in the commentary that him and Cadden are miles ahead in the fitness tests.
Aye,
for that, and I know like you should be playing with the ball, but you need boys that are going to drag up the level to keep the intensity up. And if you're bringing him off the bench, he's got to keep he might even increase the intensity with that effort.
I think Campbell is one of these players. Like on another day, and he is capable of it because we've seen it from before. He could have 3 goals a day. Like he had the header, and then he had 2 where he's taken a touch at the back post before taking his shot. Where if he's just hit it first time, he's not got the same sort of traffic in front of him to block it. I think on another day he does that, or his header goes in, and then everybody's talking about that's why you've got Josh Campbell in your team. But he's there to miss them. I always say that with players. Like if they're there to miss them and are doing all the right things, they will make mistakes. But when they get it right, that's where you get the payoff for it. And I don't think we've got any players in the team to get it right 100% of the time. So, aye. Kieran said McGrath is going to be tremendous for us. Some player, by the way, our player of the year written all over him. David mentioned about last season we changed it up for Kelty, which we did. We made loads of changes. Actually, that was one of the criticisms, wasn't it? Like we changed it up, got beat, and
that's why folk wrote Smith off.
Aye. There was a question about whether or not Cleege is fit yet. I saw a post on Hibsnet this morning to say that Cleege is just getting eased in because he's not quite sharp enough yet, which would make sense. There's a bit of pressure on him, already, isn't there? With him being a record signing, obviously that's not his fault, but there is an expectation that we spend that money on a player. When do we
Intensity.
get to see him? And I think probably to a lesser extent because we didn't have to spend, but Mane's in that bracket now as well. There was already rumours circulating this week that Mane might be on his way, having not settled. I think that's I think that got posted on Hibsnet and the Twitter account Hibs Central, who well within the rights to lift stuff for there and posts it as rumours, and then it gets, obviously they've got quite a big following, so it then grows arms and legs and gets taken as fact. But I'm not convinced it is in any way, shape, or form fact.
By the way, if Hibs Central wants to contact us anonymously and tell us who they are, I would really appreciate
You're just
it.
curious, Sean, right? I don't know. Like, folk get other knickers and a twist about that account. Fucking good luck to them. Do what you want to do. They're not doing any harm.
Just a laugh. Just a laugh.
But Colin, you mentioned about like Gray not liking to change the team. Obviously, we have had like Mulligan and McGrath have come right into the starting 11, really. But then those positions were up for grabs with Newell being injured and Chiantis coming back. For Mane and Cleege, John, do you think it's a bit of a harder ask for them to like earn their place in the starting lineup while the team's doing well?
Aye, they'd have. I want to say that they'd have to be outstanding. Like they have to be better than whoever their counterpart is in the starting 11. But they also have to. The personality has to fit in. Like they have to be. They have to contribute and. I'm trying to think of another word for contribute, but they have to contribute to the sort of work ethic and the culture around the team. I'm not saying that they don't have that. Like they're starting to feature, but it's also like, and I think they're going to get their opportunity. So Colin alluded to it earlier with like tiredness and the opportunity to freshen things up. Like you can almost get like half a team out there, so their opportunities are going to be there. They're going to have the same opportunities to state their claim in the squad, and I think also when you consider Gray's approach with Martin Boyle last season, like I think. So when he dropped Martin Boyle, he put him on the subs bench. He wasn't a guaranteed starter anymore. He got a bigger performance out of him then. So I kind of trust in what he's doing. So if he's not starting them, I'm kind of happy. I'm happy with it. And if he decides to play them at some point in the future, I'm going to be equally happy with it then, because I think what we're seeing is that there's a very, like what we've been lacking previously is a very clear and deliberate plan about what we're doing. Like so when you're talking about Belgrade on Thursday, there's a second tie. It's so as much as we're navigating the Thursday, Sunday, the ebbs and flows of that, you've potentially got another 120 minutes in a second leg against Belgrade. So all of these players that we're talking about you would imagine are going to feature, they're going to contribute to how we get through this spell.
They've got to take a chance when they've got to take a chance when they get it. And like take Cleege for example, right? He's trying to get in up front, and the three guys that have been playing ahead of him are all £1 million players in their own right? Bowie, Boyle, the captain, and Ellie.
Yep.
Right. So we've signed him for £1 million or €1 million or whatever it was we paid. So there is expectations. But these guys, if we were signing them, they would cost us that and more. So they're better than him at the moment. Like maybe in Gray's eyes. And when he gets his chance, he's got to come in and take it. No guaranteed, right? Just because we've spent money on him that he's got to walk straight in at the team. When there's players of that quality available.
And the same goes for the goalkeeper as well, isn't it? Like, I mean, there was that question about who's going to start as not the literal number one, but the number one.
Yeah.
And Smith's obviously kept his place, and he had to wait it out last season. Well, Bursick was chucking him in, and then once he got his chance, he stayed in the team. I think it bodes well, and I think the thing to remember with these guys is it's a long season, and we're going to have injuries and suspensions, and we're going to have players not available for whatever reason, and they will have a part to play. And I agree with you, Colin. When they get that chance, they have to take it. Chris said, "Do you know how wild it was? You had Dundee fans screaming at O'Hora to pass the ball as their strikers wouldn't press them."
Do you remember, like years ago? I think it was a Rangers game, right? And I don't know if it was a league. I just remember. It's just come to me. The two centre backs just like. They just passed the ball between each other and nobody went and pressed them, and there was like a big uproar about it because they just went, well,
Was this when we qualified for Europe?
Nah,
No?
it wasn't against Hibs. It was maybe I don't know if it was a Rangers European game or something. I can't remember, and it might have been as far back as like the Terry Butcher days. And they just like we could have done that the day. Like we
Aye.
could have just knocked it between the 3 or 4 with Smith involved, gave him a 2-touch. There was because he had nothing to do the day.
Mhm.
You know, it got down to a one actually. It got down to maybe a deflected shot in the first half. I think he done quite well, but there was nothing else for him to do. Dundee didn't do anything.
Pretty easy afternoon for him. Chris on Twitter said, brilliant performance from everyone today. As Colin likes to remind us, it's a hard place to go. 3 points in the bank, PS top of the league. Kieran said, cruise control, really. Campbell should have made it comfortable. Where's the £1 million man? I thought we were all excited for him.
He scored 2 goals, the £1 million man.
The mental Hibees said, strolling apart today, Dundee was honking. I'd be furious if we were as negative as that in a league match they sat in for 85 minutes. Tom Wallace said Hibs made hard work of it, should have been more comfortable than it was.
Can I just ban? See that point before Tom's one about did we not try that against Celtic in the cup under Heckingbottom and lose 2-0 and everybody went fucking mental, and that was almost the start of the end for Heckingbottom because we were on a good league run.
Aye.
At the time, and we thought let's have a crack at it, the Scottish Cup quarter final or something at Easter Road, and we sat in and the fuck all, and everybody went, "What the fuck was that?"
Aye, they're raging about it.
That's what it was a wee bit like, I suppose.
Tom saying Hibs made hard work of it, should have been more comfortable than it was. Dylan Levitt just edged in brackets. Great hold up play. Kieran Bowie for my player of the match. Neil Rent said I didn't watch the game and instead switched off and helped make a steak pie. If that performance was a Sunday dinner, what would it be like, John? If that performance today was a Sunday dinner, what type of Sunday dinner would it be?
Can we make that extra time so I can get some proper thought? That's a really good question.
I think
what did Neil say?
We get an extra time.
It was a routine. I would say like a routine Sunday dinner, wasn't it? It was like just like
roast chicken.
Roast chicken, some roast tatties, bit of gravy,
nearly carrots.
Nearly ruined by the Outlaws. With like a sort of they made a wee attempt at it, but it was sort of through in the end.
That's a shame.
Mark said that's the way I like it. Spot said anyone read the rumours about Mane? Yeah, that was just about him not settling. I think we've probably said enough on that one. Spot. Jack said good win. Thought that would have been the perfect last 20 for Cleege. Lots of space and Europa at the back. Suspect that teams will come in for Bowie in January. Gradman said, how long are we going to stick with number 32? Nowhere near good enough 4 sitters today. John Keys said, will there be a better pie this season than the steak on offer today? Some strong competition from the kebab pie by all accounts, but Dundee might have the pie league wrapped up just one game into the new campaign. More steak and 1 dense pie than 3 of the Easter Road variety. Josh had a kebab pie today, which was their pie of the month, and looked good, but lacked the structural integrity. He said it was like one of these ones that starts to fall apart and it's difficult to eat. So mixed reviews, I think. So I think there's still some way to go for the pie competition.
Was that a metaphor, or was that a genuine review?
Not genuine review. He sort of said halfway through, he said, "This look at the filling and it looked nice, but it was 40 bits."
I just imagine I'm looking at this state of this. It's 40 bits.
And John White said this that has to be the worst stadium in Scotland. A junior team would be embarrassed to call it home. K-Rob said almost home for the game. Fantastic away day. Controlled the game. Bowie was brilliant. Top the league. Let's spend a couple of minutes talking about Kieran Bowie. Colin, what was so good about his performance today?
I like the strength he's got. He pins defenders like constantly. He was doing it the other night as well. I thought he could have fell the other night and got a penalty for when he done one of them. But today he was. You see, there was one the defender got booked for pulling him down, and the defender, you wouldn't have seen it being at the game, but he was going to the ref. He was hitting me as well. It's like, well, aye, but you're the one that fucking held him harder. But he was clever with it. He was strong and powerful, and we've seen that last season before he got injured. Mind against Carter Vickers in his first game. We've seen it since, but now he's looking fit and strong, like fully fit and strong. He's recovered from his injury and had his pre-season and all that. Right place, right time, strength. Nice finish for the first one as well, and he's touching the finish. So he's got quite a few attributes that are encouraging.
And John, a couple of goals today as well. It's always good for a striker to start the season with a couple of goals. He was unlucky on Thursday night not to get a goal because Boyle straying into an offside position and being judged to have interfered. So, he's unlucky not to be looking at 3 goals in 2 games, really. But that's huge for a striker, isn't it, to get a couple of goals early in the season?
I think what's really good is that he's carried on the good form that he had at the end of last season. I know obviously there was pre-season, there's a gap in between, and I'm reluctant to say it, but he has picked up where he left off. And it is important because it just relaxes everyone, like not just himself, but the players around him. Like they'll not be, his teammates will not be concerned to give him the ball. He's feeling comfortable with his touch, getting snapshots away in front of goal. It's good. And I had said, I think, was it last week or the week before? I'd said that I thought he was going to score a lot of important goals for us, and he's started off really well. So,
go back to the Pressley. John's McGlynn says his wee blazer. Me said he's definitely first manager sacked. Chris Black said his dress sense was incredible, reminded me of my old music teacher. John says absolutely Dundee are in big trouble, I reckon. And Rob said, even all the notebook reminded me of the coach in Waterboy when the Mud Dogs are playing shite. David Daniels said, evening guys, now listening and eating my tea. It's chicken balti pies for me. Green Tea said, how good, this is one for you too, because you'll listen to it. How good was Joe Newell on co-coms?
I like him. He's better than some of the others that they get on, definitely, and he brings a bit of well, he knows the game plan in that. So it's quite, he's bringing that insight. He's not guessing it. He knows what it is. He knows what's meant to be happening. He sounded like he was enjoying himself. Like he was singing along to Hibs Away.
Was it?
When the second went in.
Amazing.
Complimented the fans a fair bit for Thursday night and stuff as well. He's really good, actually. I think he's good.
We saw him, this true story, saw him on his way in. So he was coming up for the team bus and we were waiting for the turnstiles to open. And so like everybody stopping him for a photo, and there was a couple of grown-ups that did it. One of them had a Valencia top on, obviously over from Spain. And he said to him, will you sign for Valencia one day? And Joe just went, nah, mate, play for Hibs. Brilliant, that's what he said. I was like, that's tremendous.
He says that he never said how soon he'd be back, but it made it sound to me like a couple of weeks. That's how it sounded. He's back running and stuff. Him and Rudy, they've been doing the rehab together, he was saying. And they're back, so I don't think they're far away now.
Good. Right, let's have a wee sort of reflect back on Thursday night. We've got quite an hour left, right? So we'll look back at Thursday night and then have a wee chat about Partizan next Thursday. So John had mentioned John McGlynn on the YouTube chat. Ewan was beginning to look like his old self again. Couple of nice passes in that run to keep the ball in play. When he can be arsed, is different class. Obviously, he came on and was instrumental in the goal on Thursday night. There was a danger there might have been a hangover for that the day. The team put everything into the game on Thursday, John, didn't they? Like, it was what did you make of that sort of the evening in total and the performance for the boys?
It was it was shite. Like when I say it was shite, it was like the manner that we lost was shite. So just like reflecting on the last couple of minutes of the game and reflecting on the sort of relative positions of the two sides, like they were able to bring on a specialist goalkeeper in preparation for penalties, and then a guy that's no scored in about 8 years or something pulls off an absolute worldy bicycle kick and sticks it almost top corner. That felt ungentlemanly to me. Like we were within a whisker of penalties, and I know that penalties isn't a foregone conclusion, but it gives the team that's maybe not quite as good as their opponents an opportunity. It's kind of like it's a wee bit of a leveler if you can get to that sort of stage.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I would have been all right with that. Like I wouldn't have been all right with it. I could have accepted it easier if it had been in like the 88th minute. But he's waited until the 119th after they brought on that goalkeeper. I was a wee bit fucked off with that. However, I thought Hibs' effort was incredible to put ourselves in that position. And I thought, like looking at the two games, so when we were in Denmark, we were, with the exception of the first 10 minutes and certainly in the second half, we were much more defensive. However, we saw, I think, relatively speaking, a bit more of an expansive Hibs performance on Thursday night at Easter Road. And that's what I was referring to earlier with the Belgrade game coming up and the Thursday Sunday routine, home and away fixtures, all that sort of stuff. Like it's not just a case of like Gray, the coaching side aren't just saying right, stick the best 11 on the park. We'll do what we can. Like there's thought into what they're trying to do and how they're trying to progress through the ties.
And Colin, same question to you, I suppose.
I can't remember the question, but I'll just talk about Thursday, how I felt. Was that something
Pretty
like
much that, aye.
that?
Give or take.
I thought we'd done really well. Like we look a good side. They're on paper a better side than as it turned out. Also on grass, but we kept it tight. We kept it. It needed like spectacular goals to score both times. I didn't always think bringing the goalie on. I think it's a mind games thing as much as sometimes it is a specialist day. That would make me think, are you as good though? Like, you know what I mean? Rather than like, oh fuck me, they brought on. Because if he was that good a goalie, he'd be enough time, eh? So,
but maybe he's shy at cross balls. Maybe he's shy at all the other parts of the game.
I
we should have just brought Salinger on, like done the same thing.
I thought the mind game for me was them making us think that they'd settle for penalties as well. But clearly they hadn't.
But they scored right away, like, yeah, it wasn't like...
I know, but they brought him on from their attacking position. I thought it was a clever thing to do. However way, like, whether it's to kind of, as you say, Colin, make us think, fucking hell, must be a penalty specialist, and then that gets in your head, or just to kind of see if you can go after almost 120 minutes, can we get them to switch off for a minute and just think,
yeah.
Okay, that's us.
Was it even a switch off though, eh? For a goal like that, it wasn't like anybody switched off. You know what I mean?
Really?
It was just a complete fucking wonder strike. But I mean, it was good. And what I liked is I even stayed to the end. I'm one of these guys, right? I was a very back row in the south upper, like the row double R. Great view up there actually. I don't think I've been up there before. That high anyway. Really good view. And we waited to when the whistle went. I'm normally doing the stairs, still watching the whistle goes. I'm doing the out the exit, but we stayed to the end. The vomitorium. Remember that? I just got a message in saying that they're going to win the league in the next 10 years. By the way, that's the latest coming out of the press conference. But the fans applauded it. You know, there was no booing. Everybody appreciated the effort of the players because you've seen what they put into it, and they matched a team that are playing at a much not week on week, but at a much higher level in European football season after season. Where we want to get to, I suppose, we want to be like that. That's probably a team we want to aspire to in terms of getting into Europe every year, getting further and further into the tournament. I think they've been in the Champions League. I think they beat Celtic in the Champions League, and they've got out the Europa League into the knockouts. You know, that's probably like a target for us 5 years down the line or something.
Aye. I'd previewed the game on a Midtjylland podcast, and I'd reached out to the guy the host, a guy called Casper Peterson, and asked him if he wouldn't mind just dropping me a wee note to say what he thought of the performance, having spoke about it before. So as a wee bit of a long reply, but I'll just read it out as he sent it with a wee caveat to say, obviously he's English isn't his first language, and you wouldn't tell from the quality of the reply. So he says, regarding Hibs, wow, what a team of absolute fighters. Midtjylland really had to work hard to advance, and when the budgets of the two squads are compared, I think that's something for Hibs to be proud of. On transfer market, our guy Frank Alino is worth as much as your starting 11 yesterday, which just puts it into perspective. Although transfer market's prices are too low because we already rejected a bid of 25 million euros for him. I think your game plan in both legs was superb, to be honest. Of course, our keeper should do better at the McGrath free kick in Herning, but the way you defended for the rest of the game was heroic and very frustrating from the viewpoint of a fan in the stands. Midtjylland are usually not a team with a lot of possession, and we usually like the games to be a bit more open to create space for our offensive players on counter-attacks. We also didn't create a lot of chances in the first leg, although we had the ball 74% of the time. So going into a really low block was a good move by your manager, in my opinion. Our philosophy at Midtjylland is that possession doesn't matter if you don't create chances, and you kept us away from doing that, especially in the first leg. The second leg, I think we should have put the game to bed earlier, but you guys were just impossible to break down. I also think you guys were better offensively at Easter Road, so props to that. I talked with our manager, Thomas Berg, at the training ground last week, and he was really annoyed at how Midtjylland started the game, which he also said was a praise to you because you were much better than us in the duels in the first 20 minutes. Our media team does these BTS videos of the game, and you can hear his halftime talk right here, and he shared a link. He said Hibs play primitive football, in inverted commas, and honestly mean that as a compliment because you seem to be really good at it. That's the way Midtjylland played for a few years, and we won 2 Danish league titles by playing that way. So I can appreciate the style of play as well. Rock solid defence and a strike force, especially Martin Boyle, who was a pain in the ass to play against, always pressing and running at nearly full pace at our backline. I can see why you guys like him so much. And one last thing, the guy who scored the bicycle kick, such a weird story to the point where I nearly would have been less surprised if our keeper had scored a last-minute header. We bought him in 2019 for €2 million, and he has never lived up to the expectations. He had a good spell in the fall of 2021, but then he got some unlucky injuries and has been loaned out the last few years. He's also had a bit of a feud with the coach and wasn't even in the squad in our training camp because they wanted to sell him. He was only in the squad yesterday because our striker Buxa is injured and our other striker couldn't get an entry permit to Scotland. And then he goes and pulls off a moment like that. Ha, football in a nutshell. All the best for the new season. So, quite an interesting take from a Midtjylland perspective. Do you disagree with anything that you had to say there?
No, I mean, I don't know enough about them, like the challenger, but it's interesting to hear. Like, it's a pity the boy got his fucking work permit or whatever it was he said there at the end. But
Brexit.
but I mean, it's just plucky loser stuff. It's just typical Scotland. You know what I mean? Want to be on the right side of one of these, and hopefully we will be next week.
I take the point about like primitive Neil Lennon quotes football. Like there's loads of different styles of football. Like not everyone, like we've talked and we've taken the piss out of like Pep and philosophy and all that sort of stuff. Like you can have your style, you can adapt your style, you can have multiple styles, but you have to execute it really well. Yeah. And we did that, and that's not like the way that we played against Midtjylland, especially in the first game, isn't how we're going to play the rest of the season. Like it's, I actually kind of no, I do appreciate the guy's honesty and like frankness in his response. It's really good.
Yeah. And on to Thursday night then, so a trip to is it played in Belgrade? There's no neutral venue or anything, is it? So
no, Belgrade's a team. I'm not sure where it's being played.
I think it is. We have got some tickets for it as well, which is good. I don't know anybody who's making the trip out for it. I have to say, but on paper it sounds like a tricky tie, Colin. But I'm not sure Partizan are the team that they used to be.
I've no idea, right? Like this is my lack of knowledge. It's funny because I was talking to my brother-in-law after the game. It was Friday actually, and he went, "I Dundee United go Rapid Vienna," and I went, "Woof!" And I went, "Actually, are they any good now?" Like their famous name, like Partizan Belgrade, but like, are they good? Don't know. No idea. They're in the conference, so presumably they never won the league, like or their cup. So, fuck knows. No idea. We'll need to see what they're like on Thursday. That's where I'll learn about them. But it's not my job to learn about them. It's David Gray's. So he's doing his homework.
This is true. And John, I noticed that David Gray after the Midtjylland game, he was really kind of close, careful with his words. He chose them carefully, and it was a lot about not writing off like we hadn't lost our chance at Europe. He just said we need to take a different route now. So I think very much still the message is we want group stage football, which just becomes a little bit more difficult. Is that a case of going there and just same as last time? We hope we've got something to bring back to Easter Road, or do we go and try and win it while we're out there?
I don't know. I don't mean to be flippant in that response. I genuinely don't know. And like the reason I don't really have much of an informed opinion is when we were playing Midtjylland, like I think they were one of the teams that I'd seen folks saying that we wanted to avoid because of, was it Francolino costing more than, the entire squad?
Yeah.
There was, like the boy that owns Jenner's and half of Scotland, he's bankrolling them, all that sort of stuff. I don't know anything about Belgrade. And I think because obviously it's kind of like a recency thing. Like Thursday night, the game I think against Belgrade was confirmed. So I don't know anything about them. And like the parameters kind of change. Like I don't think we're necessarily going to play against Midtjylland the same way because I don't know where Belgrade's strengths and weaknesses lie. We may approach it slightly differently. We may have learned something from those last two games where we say, actually, maybe we had a little bit more to give. Maybe we don't need to play quite as defensively in the away game. Maybe we can go to Belgrade and try and bring a little bit more back to Easter Road.
Chris said Partizan finished second in the league last year, but 27 points behind Red Star.
And they're losing 1-0 at half time tonight.
Haley said that's why losing at half time. I like this.
Don't know
For
playing
Chris.
like. Don't know if they're a good team, no?
Chris says Belgrade is a notoriously hard place to go and get a result.
Yeah, I've heard that.
No easy games in Europe.
No easy games in Europe. It's hard to get a score prediction now because I'm the same. I know nothing about them. I'll probably try and explore a wee bit about them between now and the fixture on Thursday. Right, so we'll start to wrap up, but just a couple of things that are coming up that I'll make you aware of if you're listening or watching. Subscribers will get extra time tomorrow. Our usual Monday exclusive content for subscribers that'll be out. You can get that either by joining YouTube. So if you're watching just now, you'll see a wee button underneath the screen that says join. You can do that. You press that, it will take you through the process, or you can go to our Patreon. There's a 7-day free trial. So if you've been thinking about subscribing but unsure if you'd like it, you can go and test it. 7 days free of charge on us. And then if you like it, hopefully you stick around. On Wednesday, we'll be doing a special phone-in. So Wednesday evening, I think 8 o'clock we'll kick off. It's Hibs' birthday, obviously, 6th of August. You'll see it on the back, or the inside collar of the shirts this season. They've got the date. So we're going to do a sort of birthday phone-in, but it'll look back at the game today and a wee bit ahead to the Partizan game. But also be looking for folks, I guess, sort of Hibs stories as we do it as well. So hear how you ended up supporting the Hibs and your favourite moments, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in getting involved, we'll post up the Zoom details for it on our Patreon and on the YouTube members area, sort of by Wednesday afternoon at the latest. So watch out for that. And we've chucked some other designs up on our Redbubble store as well. So these t-shirts, honestly, we've been doing a few daft ones, and they've been selling really well. So like folk are liking them, which is good. But we just put up an old Rocky Bashiri one at the weekend, which is was like flying off the shelves. Is maybe not quite. It's maybe
somebody in Australia bought one though. You said
we did, yeah. So thanks whoever picked it up. But if you go to redbubble.com and just search Long Bangers, you'll see the designs there. There's bound to be something that you like, and if there's anything that you think we should be doing there, get in touch and we'll.
I think the two that are in draft at the moment are two of the best ones.
I've got two
when they come out.
Aye, we've two that we're just trying to get them.
Well, one you went permission and one we're trying to make somebody not look like Ange Postecoglou on it, So
aye, so we've done one and we had to use a bit of AI to sort of tidy up some of the photoshopping that I'd done on it. But every time I go to do it, it changes my face into like two AI looking. Well, it also
I'm fucking delighted with how my face is coming.
Colin's got an upgrade and John and I have got a downgrade. So Colin's itching for us to post it as is, but I think if I can stand to have a downgrade on a coupon like this as it is, so
I've looked at a couple of, just to change the subject, a couple of times I've looked in there and I thought John was on pause, right? Just the way because of the fucking that front door behind him, like it looks like fucking somebody's paused it.
It does. Right, I think that's everything I had to say. Yeah, so. Go check out the subscription options, and as always, hit the like button as well on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not already like a normal subscriber, hit the wee subscribe button, and that's free of charge, and it helps us out. Anyway, right, Colin, John, thanks for your time. For everybody who's left comments either on Twitter or on the YouTube as we're watching, thank you very much. We really do appreciate it, and we will